Okay, here we want to fill out a tax return for Thomas Peterson. And so here is our information that you're given for Thomas Peterson. This includes a W-2 form that he got from his employer that shows in box 1 how much of his wages are taxable for his federal tax return. In box 16, it shows how much of his wages are taxable for the state, in this case, the state of South Carolina. So, with South Carolina, those two numbers are the same, but they're not always in other states. And some states do not have a state income tax, such as Tennessee or Florida, and so they would have nothing along this bottom line. In box 2 of the W-2, the federal income tax that was withheld out of his paychecks and handed to the IRS. This is a prepayment of his taxes. Box 3 and 4 deal with Social Security taxes, how much of his wages was subject to Social Security tax, and how much Social Security tax was taken out and handed in. And Medicare is box 5 and 6, how much of his wages was subject to Medicare, and how much Medicare taxes was taken out of his check and handed in. Now, the Social Security taxes and the Medicare taxes go into the system, into the Social Security Administration system. And when Thomas Peterson retires, he will get Social Security. And then there is in box 12A, capital D. What that designates is that his employer, Orangeburg Consulting, paid $2,400 toward Thomas's health insurance. Now, Thomas may also had to have paid out of his own checks some toward his health insurance through the company. But this $2,400 is how much the company paid toward his health insurance. This is not a number we need for the tax return, but it is required to be put on the W-2. If the company paid any toward his health insurance, they have to put that information there. Okay, and box 17, how much state income tax was withheld out of his paycheck and handed in to the state of South Carolina. So let's take a look at the other document. This is a 1099 INT, stands for interest, and there's a number of boxes. We won't worry about them. However, this box 1, interest income, means that Thomas received $537 of interest income from First National Bank. Maybe he invested in a certificate of deposit, a CD, in First National Bank, and he has received interest on those CDs that he has invested with them. And that is taxable income. There is a box 8 down here that says tax exempt interest. If you invest in municipal bonds, such as like for the city of Orangeburg, if they float some bonds and you invest in those, they will pay you back X number of years from now, and in the meantime, they pay you interest. So you receive interest from them. Well, if you invest in something like that, it's tax-free interest. But if you invest in things which give you interest that are not city or state bonds, then that interest is going to be taxable, and it's going to be up here in box 1. So all revenue, all income that Thomas receives is taxable unless it's stated otherwise. So it doesn't matter if it's illegal. If Thomas grows a little weed out in his field and sells it, then even though he might be trying to hide it from the government, he needs to record that as taxable income because a lot of people end up in jail, not from whatever wrongdoing they were doing, but from the fact that they had tax evasion. So Thomas, we will say, has no other income, only his wages and his interest. So now we're going to want to actually do his tax return. So we're going to need some forms. Now, if you go into a tab and you put in irs.gov, okay, you will arrive at the IRS website. And on the IRS website, the main tax return is a 1040, and the schedules 1 through 3, if they have anything that is not the most basic of stuff, you'll need those schedules. Or if they have some credits or other taxes that aren't on the 1040 itself, then you would have to use these schedules 1 through 3. We will leave that for accounting 124, which is the income tax class, and you learn how to fill out a bunch of forms. We're mainly going to worry about the 1040. So we click that. Now you see there's the 1040, and we have the instructions for the form 1040. There's also a 1040-SR. The SR stands for senior. So it's the same form as the 1040, but it's all in big, where you can see it easier if you're a senior citizen and your eyesight isn't what it was meant to be. So it takes 3 pages instead of 2 pages, but it's all the same stuff as the 1040. Now, when I print out the instructions, which has the tax tables, I like to print out where it says print version. It's a PDF. It's easier to get into and see. So we're going to need this. So I'm going to click on that. And then if you go into the contents page, okay, you'll see this 2020 tax table. And you can click on that. Okay, so we'll be using that. There are other good things, however. If I go back there, you can see anything that's new for that year is right up front. There's tables that you can look at to see if you think you don't have to file a return, you're not sure. If you have very low income, you may not have to legally file a return. However, if you don't file a return and you're, let's say you had an employer and you only had $5,000 worth of wages and you claim yourself, nobody else claims you as a dependent, then you wouldn't have to file legally. But if your employer took taxes out of you, the IRS is not automatically going to send you a refund. Okay, so to be able to get your refund, you have to file. But you wouldn't be required legally to file in that situation. There's also when and where should you file. Typically, the dates that the federal tax return is due is April 15th. If the 15th falls on a weekend, then it's due on the following Monday. If in the last year, of course, in 2020, the date got moved to July 15th, and this year in 2021, also due to COVID, the date got moved to May 17th. But typically it will be due on April 15th. Then there is a bunch of line instructions for various of the lines, and there's various tables. If you get certain types of income, there's worksheets to figure out how much of that income is taxable and things like that. Okay, but we again are mainly concerned with the tax table. Okay, I like to go ahead and get all my forms set up on separate tabs. So I'm going to again go into an IRS tab, click on the 1040, but I'm going to bring up the form itself. So here's the regular 1040 form. It's 2 pages. Now, what we're going to start with is, at the top is a filing status. There's 5 different filing statuses, and there's a lot of rules about who gets into what filing status. Basically, if you're legally married, your main choices are married filing jointly or married filing separately. Married filing separately is a very bad filing status. It has the worst amount of things and you don't get credits. So preferably, for all parties concerned, if you are legally married, you haven't gotten divorced yet or whatever, then you are better off with married filing jointly. Single is, if you're not legally married, then you would choose on single. Head of household means that you are an unmarried person who has either children or your elderly parents that are dependents, that you're supporting them in the household. Qualifying widower is if you were married but your spouse died and there are again kids in the house that you're now taking care of. And qualifying widower, you can have that status for a couple of years. Then if you still have the kid, you can move back to head of household if you're still unmarried and you're supporting that kid. If the kid moves on, then you would go to single. If you don't have any kids and your spouse is deceased, then you would just be single. All right, so Thomas Peterson is just single. Okay, and we are going to put in his name. Now, his name has to be the same way it is on his Social Security card. So we're going to take a look. We don't have his Social Security card, but he would have to put it on there. Now, he's Peterson with 1 T. You want to spell the last name in particular exactly the way it is on his Social Security card, or this return will be invalidated. It'll be rejected. Okay, his Social Security number, that's another thing that has to be exactly the way it is on his Social Security card, or this return will be rejected.